Welcome to the lecture on how to write a page-turning novel or story. And this is going to be one of those lectures that will have different parts that I will say, and you'll need to learn this, and you'll need to learn this, because the skill that it takes to write something that is a page-turner to a reader is a multiple faceted skill. It just takes a lot of different areas. I'm going to talk about them all. I'm going to talk about how you study some of them and things through this lecture. There are tricks. I'll talk about some of those. There are all kinds of methods. But first off, I think by and large I need to explain what a page-turning novel means. It basically is a story that reads fast, and that's where it comes, where you flip the page and flip the page and flip the page. And that's not me because you're scanning. That's not good. It's because you're actually, the story's moving, and you, the author, have made sure that the story moves quickly and haven't stopped the reader, bogged the reader down in any way, shape, or form. And there's lots of ways to bog a reader down. So, by and large, what I'm talking about in this lecture is the reader experience. Now, the reader, the point of this, and I have an entire lecture on stages of writers, but the point of this lecture is to get you that have decided to take this lecture, listen to this lecture, starting to think about that there's somebody on the other side of the typing. And that you need to, in essence, be subconsciously aware of them. Your subconscious back here is aware. It knows how to do this sort of thing. But the problem is that your conscious brain, all of us who have, this thing right here, that part doesn't have any idea. We're more, so many writers, we all started off with being concerned about sentence by sentence and all that stuff, with no thought whatsoever that there was somebody on the other side of the manuscript that would actually be reading it maybe in book form, and that there are lots and lots of ways to get the reader to do what you want the reader to do. And if you want a section of your book or your entire story or your entire book to be a page turner, then you, the writer, have to know how to control a reader's experience on the other side. This is upper level stuff in many, many ways. And takes a lot of years of practice to get to, but you can get to it. And so consider this lecture kind of as hey, look, there's a door, and I'm going to open a door for you. See this big world out here? There's a big world out there, and and it's very, very fun once you learn some of these tricks, techniques, and just get some practice in some of the skills that it takes to write a page-turning novel. Much of the learning that writers do, professional, commercial, fiction writers, I have to limit that down, professional, commercial, fiction writers, much of the learning that those of us who are in that world do is unlearning all the crap we were taught. Oh, that's the hard part, and it's an ongoing thing. It never goes, oh, now I've unlearned it all. No, it's so much stuff back there. So I refer to a lot of them as myths. In the actual writing act itself, there's a ton of stuff, and so some of what I'm going to be talking about in this lecture is how to unlearn something that you were taught by some English teacher who couldn't write a commercial piece of fiction if their life depended on it. And so, but yet they're teaching you and you're taking it in, sometimes at an age where you adapt everything as gospel and as rules, and it goes in really deep. It doesn't go back here. Back here, the subconscious knows how to do this. It goes in right here. And that front brain stuff. And boy, I'll tell you, when you start letting the front brain control, writing doesn't become fun. In fact, it becomes drudgery. So much of this lecture you will see as, hear me saying, okay, you need to stop doing this. You need to unlearn this. So again, the entire focus of this lecture is to how to write a page-turning novel. Stay tuned. It could get interesting.